Today, we're diving into a heartbreaking story of Nepal, which took place in 2009 and shook the world. After knowing this whole story, you will probably start hating the person in your life who is very close to you. So, what was this entire incident? The story starts with a simple SMS message. You too may be well acquainted with getting similar messages. You know the ones. You've won X sum of money, or you've won a trip to X destination. Well, on June 5th, 2009, a 19-year-old girl named Khyati from Nepal received a similar SMS. The message read, "You have won 20,000 rupees cash and a ticket to Pokhara, the most beautiful and most famous tourist place in Nepal, in the lucky draw organized by a famous woman's magazine." Shortly after this, Khyati got a call from a woman who repeated the thing written in the message and said, "If you want to get the prize money and the ticket to Pokhara, then you must come to an address." The woman then provided the address. Today, if someone receives such messages or calls, then people immediately understand that it could be fraud. But this was a time when people were not so aware of the frauds happening online. That's why Khyati feels overjoyed and tells her parents all about it. Khyati's parents were also delighted to know about this and decided that Khyati would go to the address to get the prize money and the ticket to Pokhara. After this, Khyati leaves at the appointed time with her house servant, Ram. After a few hours of travel, both reach the address given by the woman on the phone. The servant Ram drops Khyati there and leaves because Khyati was also told on the phone that all of this would take a lot of time. Khyati waits for some time at the address mentioned. Then, a woman comes there, introduces herself as a representative of Woman magazine, and congratulates her on winning the prize. She then asks her to come along and collect the prize money. After this, the woman takes Khyati to an apartment, where she notices a man. The person identifies himself as someone associated with the same magazine, and says that he will do the necessary paperwork related to the prize money and tickets. During the conversation, the person offers a glass of cold drink to Khyati and also takes a glass himself. After this, the process starts. At home, Khyati's parents are waiting for their daughter to return with the prize money. Since Khyati had already told them that it may take some time to complete all the processes, that's why her family was not too worried. But when evening turns to night, Khyati's parents get worried and start calling some of her friends and asking if Khyati has come to them. But on every call, they only got a no. In between calls, an SMS comes on Khyati's father's mobile phone. As soon as he read the message, the rug swept from under his feet. It was written in the message that Khyati has been kidnapped, and if you want to get your daughter back alive and safe, then immediately arrange for 10 lakh. Now, 10 lakh is roughly $12,000. It was also clearly written in the message that if you give this information to the police or anyone else, then Khyati will be killed. On seeing this message, he gets nervous and immediately tells Khyati's mother about it. Both of them first decide that they will inform the police about this kidnapping, but then change their minds because in the last few years, many such incidents have happened around them where the kidnapper killed the child just because the family had informed the police about the kidnapping. In the message, the kidnapper had only told him about the kidnapping and his demand. Now, Khyati's parents were waiting for the address so they can get their daughter safely in exchange for money. He tried calling the number several times, but it was unreachable. The whole night passes while waiting. Khyati's parents are still waiting to know what to do next. Then they get a message from the kidnapper. This time, it was written, "Come to Butwal with the money." For those who don't know, Butwal is a place in Nepal that is about 270 kilometers from Kathmandu. As soon as they receive the message, all of them immediately leave for Butwal with the money. After some time, they reach the location and inform the kidnapper through a message. On this message, the kidnapper asks them to wait for a while, and then after some time, messages them to bring the money to Chitwan. The distance from Butwal to Chitwan is about 160 kilometers. Khyati's parents reach Chitwan after traveling for several hours without taking any breaks, and inform the kidnapper that they have arrived. After some time, the kidnapper once again messages them that the money has to be delivered not here, but to Sunali. Now, the distance from Chitwan to Sunali is about 155 kilometers. These people now reach Sunali with money. But as soon as they reach the given location, they once again get a message that they should reach Darjeeling, meaning they are now asked to go to India with money. This time, they had a big challenge to face. Despite having absolutely no energy, they had to travel 600 kilometers and cross the India-Nepal border with 10 lakh rupees. Ram, Khyati's parents' servant, was also among them. Fortunately, at that time, citizens of India and Nepal did not have to face tight security to visit each other's countries. Now, all three were in Darjeeling. Once again, the kidnapper asks them to wait a while. They thought that maybe their ordeal was about to end here, and after giving the money, they would have been able to leave with their daughter. But their hopes are dashed when the mobile phone rings again. And this time, the message says that they must go to Kakarbita with the money. Kakarbita means they were asked to go back to Nepal again. The parents were already dying every moment waiting for their daughter. And on top of that, the kidnapper was not desisting from his dirty game. While running from one place to another, they were exhausted. Their condition had worsened due to fatigue, but they had no other option. They could not leave their daughter to die like this. Now they embark on a journey from Darjeeling to Kakarbita. This time, their journey was about 100 kilometers long. After traveling several hours, these people finally reach back to Nepal and once again inform the kidnapper about this. And like always, the kidnapper asks them to wait. Khyati's parents once again start fearing that the kidnapper might ask them to go to some other location once again. But this time, the message they got was an address of a hotel in Kakarbita city itself. This place was not far from where they were. It was written in the message, "Come to a particular hotel, and you have to give this money to someone." Therefore, Khyati's parents, along with Ram, reach the hotel. After some time, the kidnapper sends them a message asking to send only their servant Ram inside the hotel with the bag of money. Khyati's parents do as they were told in the message, and both remain seated in the car while they give Ram the bag full of money and send him inside the hotel. Khyati's parents, who were outside the hotel, were hoping Ram would come out with their daughter, but after a while, they see Ram is returning empty-handed and alone. Ram tells them that Khyati will be found safe at their home. Khyati's parents return home after covering a distance of 450 kilometers. They see the house is locked, and there is no trace of Khyati nearby. Following this, everyone waited a while, thinking perhaps Khyati would eventually arrive. But their wait was getting longer. Tired, Khyati's father once again messages the kidnapper, but there is no response. When he called the number, it was switched off. Tired, Khyati's father messages the kidnapper once more, but receives no reply. The kidnapper had switched off his phone. Due to fear, everyone's heart starts racing. They feel as if something terrible has happened. Finally, they realize what a big mistake they had made by not informing the police first. Khyati's parents go to the nearest police station, tell the police the entire story, from the SMS received by Khyati to the ransom money paid to the kidnapper. After knowing the entire story, the police start questioning Khyati's parents. Khyati's father said that Khyati is his only child. Since childhood, she has been very good at studying and wanted to achieve something in life. We had many dreams for her. During interrogation, the police asked Khyati's parents, "Have you ever noticed anything that seemed strange to you?" Responding to this, Khyati's father said that he did not understand one thing as to why the kidnapper was asking them to go from one place to another. Suddenly, Khyati's mother says that while waiting outside the hotel, she saw a man named Viren there. Regarding this, the police ask, "What's so strange about this?" Khyati's mother says that once they used to live in Viren's house as tenants, and Viren was also a college teacher who sometimes used to give private tutoring to Khyati. Then suddenly, he sold his house and left the city. Since then, we have only met once in between. Regarding this, the policeman asks, "Why didn't you speak to him?" In response, she says, "We did not want the news of Khyati's kidnapping to be known to any other person because it could have endangered Khyati's life." After getting all this information, the police further investigated. But in the first few days of the investigation, the police didn't seem to get any leads on the kidnapper or Khyati's whereabouts. So, the police finally started searching for the only person whose name comes up in the whole case, and that's Viren. An investigation reveals that Viren was born around 1967 in Darjeeling, India. When he was about 20 to 22 years old, he came to Nepal in search of a job after completing his studies. Well, in India, his family was prosperous, and there was no shortage of anything. Still, he wanted to stand on his own 2 feet. Due to this reason, he came to Nepal to become a science teacher at a college. Within a short time, he buys a very big house for himself and starts living alone there. After some time, he decides to rent 2 rooms in this house. And then, Khyati's family starts living at Viren's place. Khyati has lived in this house with her parents for a few years. Viren also starts tutoring Khyati at home at the request of Khyati's parents. Everything was going well, and then one day, suddenly, Viren sold his house. For this reason, Khyati quickly leaves the house with her parents, while no one knows where Viren goes after that. At this time, Khyati was in 10th grade. She had scored good marks in the 10th standard. Therefore, Khyati's parents go to Kathmandu to give her a good education and get Khyati admitted to Jubilant College. During the investigation, it was revealed that Viren lives in a rented house in Kathmandu itself. But police found no trace of Viren there. The police formed several teams to search for Viren. 2 days passed, but Viren was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, the police received reports of human body parts being found in rural areas of Kathmandu. When the police reached there, they find 3 pieces of hand in one place. A few days later, some small pieces of foot were also found, but they were a few kilometers away from the first place. Similarly, small pieces of the human body are found in a radius of about 17 kilometers for the next several days. In the midst of all this, more than 15 days had passed since Khyati disappeared, but the police still had no clue about her, nor did they get any more information on Viren. While the pieces of the dead body were found in the last few days, its head has not been found yet. Therefore, it was not possible to identify whose dead body it was. But after 15 days, the police finally found a severed head. The police put together all the pieces and the head, but the condition of the skull had completely deteriorated, and it was almost impossible to identify the victim. Thus, till now, it was not clear whether Khyati was dead or alive, whether there was any connection between the kidnapper and his old teacher Viren, and whether Viren's appearance near the same hotel where the ransom money was taken was just a coincidence or a conspiracy. The police could not find answers to even one of these questions. Perhaps by finding the suspect, Viren, the police could have gotten some answers to many of the questions. Therefore, the police focused more than before on finding Viren. The police's attempts were successful this time, and Viren is arrested at a place in Kathmandu while conducting a raid on the basis of secret information. The round of interrogation begins. Whatever question the police asked, Viren gave correct and accurate answers. It seemed that Viren was fully prepared for the interrogation. In the midst of this question and answer, when the police asked Viren what he was doing near the hotel that day, he gets shocked and starts making things up. Before the question, he had already told the police about being somewhere else that day. Now, the police really start amping up the heat and rigorously start interrogating him. Viren realized that his lies were not going to work anymore and put the truth in front of everyone, which would send shivers down the spines of everyone. According to Viren's statement, his life was going quite well, and then one day, he went to a casino to gamble for fun as he had no shortage of money. Because of this, his hobby gradually became a habit, and he became so obsessed with gambling that he gradually started losing all his money. After losing all his savings, Viren starts taking loans from friends and loses even the money taken from home to gambling. When people start demanding their money back, he is forced to sell his house. But his debt has increased so much that he is unable to repay the loan, even by selling his house. Due to the stress of debt, he left his job and started living in a rented house in Kathmandu. He had no idea what to do next. Meanwhile, he comes to know from someone that Khyati's family lives a short distance from his house in the same city. After this, on June 5th, 2009, Viren goes to meet them. Viren had come here in the hope that after years he would meet these people and perhaps get some financial help. But after learning about Khyati's parents' big plans for Khyati's future, Viren changes his plan of asking for a loan and makes up his mind to do something a little more sinister. Actually, Khyati's parents tell Viren that they are going to send their daughter abroad very soon for a better education. On this, Viren says that it will cost a lot of money to teach abroad. Responding to this, Khyati's father says there is no shortage of money, as I have sold some of my old property and also have saved money from my earnings. Khyati's parents had told all of this to Viren because Viren was their daughter's old teacher and they had good relations with him. But they didn't know that the person they'd considered their sympathizer was going to give them the biggest pain of their lives. Viren realizes that Katya's father has saved a significant amount of money. Therefore, he changes the plan of asking for a loan and plans to extract money through a kidnapping and ransom. He involves his old student named Marina in his nefarious plan by luring her with some money. Marina is the same girl who called Khyati. As part of the plot, Marina first meets Khyati and takes her to the apartment to complete the formalities. The man whom Khyati met inside the flat was Viren. Khyati is shocked to see him there. Viren also pretends to be shocked after seeing Khyati, pretending to be unaware. He tells Khyati that he has left his college job and is now working for the same woman's magazine. During this conversation, Viren gives a cold drink to Khyati. She does not even think about refusing the drink because she met Viren at his house this morning and his behavior was seemingly normal. And there too, he was behaving very well. But as soon as she drinks this cold drink, she went unconscious. When the police ask Viren, "Why haven't you released Khyati yet, even after getting the money?" To this, he replies, "The parts of the human body that you have been collecting from different places over the last 15 days are of Khyati, and they have been thrown away by none other than me." Viren says that within an hour of drinking the cold drink, he had murdered Khyati, and within the next 4 days, he started cutting her body into small pieces and throwing them into different parts of the city. Everyone is shocked after this revelation by Viren. The court finds Viren guilty of murdering Khyati and sentences him to 39 years in prison, while Marina, who called Khyati at Viren's behest and met Khyati as a representative of the women's magazine, is found guilty and sentenced to 20 years.